Okay guys, so Angie Peppers here. Hope everyone's having a great Saturday evening. So got some status checkups to do here for you with the redos of those Pride of Barbados seeds that I told you I was going to work on. Back on April the 29th, we're May 5th today. Happy Cinco de Mayo, by the way. So on April 29th, I had mentioned to you that I was going to soak the Pride of Barbados seeds in water for 24 hours. Some people, what they do is they'll go ahead and cut slits in the seeds. I'll show you. See, these are untouched. You know, I haven't done anything with them, and as you can see, they're pretty solid, pretty hard, kind of like pinto beans. They're very solid, and I haven't done anything with those. With these, I grabbed a few of these, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to cut some slits in them and soak them, but what I did kind of was the opposite. I soaked them first for 24 hours with warm water, and then I went ahead and got a utility knife and I cut a small little slit on each one of them. Now I've heard different segments with different videos where people say that they cut the slits first and then they soak them. In this case, what I did was I soaked them first, and yeah, they became a little soft. But it seems like it didn't matter because I cut the slit after I soaked them for the 24 hours, put them in a paper towel, folded them, stuck them in a Ziploc bag, and I hung them by the window and wet this paper towel a little bit. See how the paper towel's a little wet there? And I wrapped them and I put them up. And we're the 5th today, so a few days later, as you can see, they have sprouted, they have germinated into that paper towel. Hopefully y'all can see it there. See that? So looking good. So what I did now, what I'm going to do now is I'm not going to wait on them to, you know, I guess if I let them sit here longer, they'll either start to mold or maybe ruin or something. So what I'm going to do, I went ahead and took them out of the paper towel. Like I said, I planted them, I put them in the wet paper towel in the Ziploc bag and sealed the Ziploc bag. And I waited a few days, and I can't, just so happened had someone made a comment on their Pride of Barbados, and I quickly jumped out of bed to come and look, and sure enough, a few days later as well, these started doing the same thing, you see. So looking pretty good. So what I've done here is, you can see these pots, you know, I just got some regular little pots here. Put a little bit of potting soil, Miracle-Gro potting soil of your choice. Doesn't have to be Miracle-Gro, that's the soil that I choose. And what I'm going to do is I'm just getting a little bit of this seed starter soil as well. You don't have to. I think I'm just going to do that just to play it safe. Maybe it'll help my seeds out a little bit more. Again, this is what makes planting and gardening so interesting and challenging for me, because it seems to me like I get to experiment a lot of failures. I know I've had a lot of fails and some successes, so that's what makes it so much fun. So again, potting soil, put a little bit of seed starter soil, and someone had asked me, I guess they had asked me how you're supposed to plant these. Well, I saw a segment where they showed a time-lapsed video of Pride of Barbados, of how the seeds were growing. The way I saw it was basically they were upside down, and then they just pushed out and grew. So what I'm going to do, the same thing with my index finger, the distal part of my finger, which is this part of your finger. Your finger's cut up into 3 parts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to not put them too deep. I'd say maybe, I don't know, 1.5 inches or so. Just enough to cover them. I don't know if can you see there what I'm doing. So I'm, like I said, poking there, the holes in there. You could use probably a pencil or something. And I'm going to just very carefully, just enough to where I can cover the seed with soil, like that. Hoping that you can see there. So again, just put it in like that, like so. And just cover it up. Just very, you don't want to do it too tight. Just enough. First segment, when I first did prior to Barbados, the mistake that I made was I didn't put them in direct sunlight, and I think that was one of the things that was the issue. Prior to Barbados require a lot of sunlight. They're very heat tolerant plants, and so I'm going to make sure that I put it somewhere on my porch for right now so that they can have enough sunlight and all that. And what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and check back with you guys later on this. As you know, by nature, only the strongest survive. So we're going to see which ones survive, which ones don't. I might lose a couple of them. That's natural. Happens to all of my plants. Just by nature, some will survive, some will die. I'm going to finish this off and then I'll do a status check. But again, this is in Prado, Barbados. They germinated successfully. I recommend the paper towel method. To me, it just worked better. It was quicker. And then you just, like I said, you plant them. And then I'll be doing another segment later on to show you the status of the pots. So I'll be putting these outside. Probably put like a wire chicken fence or something around. Last time on my first segment, the failure was I didn't get to grow the Prado Barbados. I didn't get to see any plants grow because the squirrels came, knocked them over, pretty much destroyed them. So that's why I'm doing a redo video on this. So check out my channel, subscribe to Angie Peppers. Just keep up and follow me and see what's going on. And I'm pretty excited to see what happens with these little guys. Hopefully I can get some plants growing here, and I'll show you the status later on that. All right, so y'all take it easy and see you next time.